Well, 4:44 got here and good morning. There was a possibility last night or earlier that I could have actually begun at 2:22. Went to bed a few minutes past 10 last night and then woke up abruptly at 11:33. Not even, not even an hour and a half. Almost, but not quite. And I actually stayed in bed for almost 45 minutes. And then I got up and I was up for about an hour, most of it in the meditation room and a little bit of it on the computer. And then I started feeling tired again, which I was very grateful for. And I went back and I laid down approximately 1:15 and fell asleep. And that was really good. And I woke up between 3:30 and 4 this morning. So it's been a strange night, and I share that as way of introduction to today's talk, which is 2012, Standing as Witnesses of Transformation. My blurb: as the world faces judgment, all of us will witness sweeping changes taking place. Those that have been paying attention have already seen the reports in major news stories of people in high places resigning. There are also anomalies of strange sounds, unusual weather, and unpredicted sightings in our skies. The governing agencies seem more blatant than ever as they threaten our health and freedoms in an obvious attempt to generate fear. We may not be able to see the desired results in individual circumstances, yet those who can see beyond the surface know that we are witnessing the collapse of the old and the birth of the new world. I used the word judgment in the opening sentence of the blurb because, in a very real sense, the powers of darkness and the powers of light stand not so much attacking each other as attacking the system that has been generated by our collective unconsciousness and ignorance. And bear in mind that it is only through ignorance that we could have created a world as heinous and ridiculous and insane as the one that we find ourselves living in at this time, which is indicative to me that there is judgment going on, which is a revelation. It's just an opening up of the ignorance for examination. And I get to examine it, you get to examine it, everyone gets to examine it in his or her own time and way. As I said, we have seen reports of the resignations of CEOs and other high-up officers in financial institutions and even governments. The President Merkel of Germany resigned in disgrace, according to one headline that I saw. The Romanian government resigned pretty much en masse, and we've not seen anything yet. We've seen the financial shenanigans. We've seen the man in the House of Lords standing up and revealing $15 trillion and all sorts of other fraudulent financial things. We've seen the police arrest people connected with the Vatican Bank. We've seen all sorts of headlines around the world. The mainstream media doesn't yet put them all together and show us the bigger picture of what's going on, but it happens on the alternative websites of our alternative media. And we are reporting, people are reporting and putting together the whole story so that we can see the bigger picture, those of us that choose to pay attention. We've heard the sounds of rumblings, and most of them, I think, are in the northern reaches, although I can't swear to that. But an awful lot of them certainly have been up in Russia and Canada and in even northern Europe. So we're witnessing this. We're witnessing the UFOs and other apparent astrological bodies being discovered that were never seen before. there's lots of things going on. And then we look at our personal lives, as I'm looking at mine, and seeing them attacking our homes and threatening to steal our property and using tremendous abuse of power as they deny remedies that have been used. And again, I keep seeing people reporting that, look, there's people going to jail that have used remedies. There's people losing their homes in foreclosure that have used remedies. All sorts of things that prove that these remedies don't work. And one of the groups that's putting that out, I actually was a member of their group for a time, and I'm not going to name them, but they say UCC is meaningless, and all sorts of the remedies that I have used are meaningless, and so they lost face with me because I still believe that those remedies are true and real. Do people end up going to jail? Yes. In the UCC process of bonding and putting out bonds, people have gone to jail for putting out bonds. I don't know that that's right or wrong, but it has happened. I've seen many reports of it, which is one of the reasons why I don't push the bond part of the UCC one. I push the secured party part and the liberation of the free man, the liberation of the free man, and the recognition of the straw man, and that the free man owns the straw man. That's what I did my UCC one for. It's what I use it for. Many of you have been watching with me and supporting me as I stand in my own personal circumstance of them threatening to take my house. Indeed, a week and a half ago, they actually did accomplish their sale of my property for $100 to the attorney, to one of the attorneys that works for the law firm that represents PNC Bank, and he misrepresented himself as representing the plaintiff in the case, which he does not work for the plaintiff. He works for the PNC Bank. Anyway, we've watched this, and I've witnessed myself as I've gone through this, and through most of this period, I have been amazingly upbeat, amazingly positive-minded. I have felt very, very good about myself and about what I've done and what I was doing, and the messages that I was receiving, and my connection with Spirit. I was overwhelmingly in a place of peace. Yesterday, that peace was shattered a little bit because I saw something. I witnessed something in myself. Whenever I set a timetable, and I think something has to happen by a certain date, which yesterday was one of those days. I wanted to have certain things filed and done by yesterday's date. It didn't happen that way. And so as the day went on, I became more and more anxious as I realized that what I thought was a remedy that I was going to be able to apply is still not ready to be applied. Now, I've witnessed in the past that oftentimes things come to me at the last minute, and that God has a plan that's being worked out. And when I say God, I'm speaking in terms that most people that are religious can relate to, and most of us on this planet, even if we claim to be spiritual, are also religious because that's what we've been trained in. Or anti-religious, which is just the flip side of the same thing. You're either a theist or an atheist. But the truth of the matter is, we're all experiencing something on a scale that has been unprecedented as we awaken and as we deal with issues and matters that have been mostly unconscious to us before, and now they're being conscious. So as I said, I witnessed the draining of my energy as the day went on yesterday. I laid down twice to sleep during the day and was unable to fall asleep. I got very little sleep in the last 24 hours, although I did get a little bit more last night, as is welcome. I got a couple plus hours from 1:15 till say quarter to 4. Um, and what is that, 2.5 hours, I guess. Anyway, I witness my own emotional response, and I witnessed the challenge. I got a response yesterday from the attorney for the bank, and they've made a motion before the court to strike my negative averment that I filed. Once again, they're trying to get the court to ignore the remedies that I've employed. And it's frustrating to me for sure. That added to the frustration of some of the other things that I expected to happen, not happening in the timely fashion that I had thought would happen. And this, I've shared some of these things with you before, but this is very disappointing, and it has a tendency to pull me down. And this is the chess game. This is the strategy of the dark forces, is to get us so enmeshed in negativity that we lose sight of the end result of the goal, that is the collapsing of the old world and the birth of the new world that is taking place. It's not just a new world, it's a new humanity that's being born. And part of that is awakening the shadow elements within ourselves. I've been so aware of that through this entire prolonged process, not just in the past week and a half, but much further back in that, as my own tendencies of wanting to condemn people, including this lawyer that keeps on harassing me. There's been, as I've said many times, that I've sat with tears streaming down my face in forgiveness, and realizing that she's just a human being doing what she feels and what she sees as best for herself. And we all seem to play that game of doing what is best for ourselves. And yet all of these things are worked at a superconscious level into the disclosing of a greater reality, the uncovering of greater truths, deeper revelations of self and of the workings of our world. And these are the things that are going on that we're getting to become consciously aware of. This is the awakening. And as I said, looking back over the past week and a half, it's been amazing to me how little fear I have felt. Yesterday, I was feeling more fear than any day in the past week and a half. And that's the truth. And I set myself up for that by expecting something to happen in my timetable, in my time frame, thinking that if it doesn't happen then, I painted what if it doesn't happen? Well, then it looks really, really bad. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know how things are unfolding. The mere fact that she's made this motion means it's being considered before the court, and there are other things being considered before the court. The sheriff is involved in investigating. My friend who was here on Wednesday called yesterday, and there's over 1,300 pages in this lawsuit. It's the highest level lawsuit that they have on the county records. It's a level 5, I believe, is what she characterized it as, or what they characterize it as to her, and she shared with me. So these individual things are taking place. We watched as the Satori farm was that the people that lived there were evicted, including an 80-year-old woman taken away in handcuffs. And we've witnessed these things and other things. And then there was a report of someone whose property was sold in Wisconsin on the 13th of this month, and then the judge actually, or was it the 14th? Anyway, the judge actually went back and they had their property restored, and the judge apologized. Now, that was a little bit different than my circumstance, but nevertheless, it was a indication of a reversal. So I've been getting good news and not getting some of the news that I've been looking for in my personal life, which makes for that emotional roller coaster. And also this week is a workshop weekend, and I'm not in the workshop for the first time in a good while. I'm not participating in the workshop because I'm basically staying very close to home. I don't leave home for more than just a short time at any time since Wednesday a week and a half ago. I don't go to any meetings outside the house. I didn't even go to my grandson's birthday party because I couldn't risk coming home, them realizing that I'm gone and coming home and having the locks changed on my house, which I was forewarned was one of the things that they work on. They watch for you to leave your home, and when you're gone for a period of time, they bring a locksmith in and they actually change the locks on your house so that you can't even get back in to gain your personal property. So because of that, I'm staying very close to home. I'm reporting all of this to you to let you see some of the personal struggles. I've promised with all of my videos to tell the truth, and I'm revealing to you my truth of the process that I'm going through. But I realize also that I'm standing as a witness to a transformation, not only a transformation within me, but a transformation that's sweeping the planet and is ultimately going to change everyone and everything in some manner. Nobody is going to escape being touched by this shift of energy that is occurring on planet Earth. And it's a cosmic event, folks. The ETs are watching. The angelic realms are watching. And from my perspective, it's already been accomplished in the heavens. And so it's impossible for it not to happen on the earth, that we transform the world from the dark, ominous machinations of the elite to an enlightened new world order where everyone's freedom is honored and everyone's story is respected and everyone is allowed to be themselves and to share what they've gone through and to see with new eyes. I constantly sense that there's changes happening in my body as I'm interpreting it. My DNA is shifting and there are bodily changes taking place in me. And I witness all of these things. And it's all witnessing the transformation of human consciousness, the transformation of the physical reality, the transformation literally of our world as the new world is being birthed, as the kingdom of heaven is being manifested on earth. So I share all of this range of emotional observations and rational observations. I share them with you so that you will know that you're not alone and that we're all going through this together. And together is a key word in all of it. We must stand together in all of this. Those of us that want to bring the changes to light, it's important that we support each other. And I'm watching that happening in my own life. And I know it's happening in the lives of those that reach out and those that make their needs known. Anyway, I leave these thoughts with you this morning, and I thank you once again for taking time to listen as I share from my heart and as I tell you to keep looking up and to keep looking within and to keep as positive an attitude as you can, but don't beat yourself up when you feel what you label as negativity. That's all for now. Namaste. All right, come here, cursor.